Have you ever felt hunted by your own body? Like a silent alarm system constantly blaring, even when there's no immediate danger. I want you to take a moment, a genuine moment. Think back over the last year. Be honest with yourself. Raise your hand if you dare, if you've lived a year relatively untouched by stress. Just a gentle ripple, anyone. Now a moderate amount. A few more hands perhaps. And those of you who have wrestled with a lot of stress. A sea of them. I see you. I'm right there with you. But that's not the confession I need to make today. It's a confession that's haunted me as a health psychologist for over a decade. My entire career has been dedicated to helping people live happier, healthier lives. And I'm beginning to fear that something I've been passionately teaching, something I believed with all my heart, is actually doing more harm than good. It centers around one word: stress. For years, I've painted stress as the villain. A silent saboteur working tirelessly to undermine your health, increasing your vulnerability to everything from a simple cold to debilitating heart disease. I've told you to fight it, to eliminate it. I've turned stress into the enemy. And I was wrong. Deeply, fundamentally wrong. Today, I want to dismantle that narrative. To invite you to reconsider everything you thought you knew about stress. Let me tell you about a study that cracked open my entire worldview. A massive undertaking, tracking 30,000 adults across the United States for 8 long years. Researchers began by asking a simple question: how much stress have you experienced in the last year? Then, crucially, they asked another: do you believe that stress is harmful to your health? They didn't stop there. They meticulously followed these individuals, using public death records to uncover a heartbreaking truth: who lived and who didn't. The results were unsettling. People who reported high levels of stress had a 43% increased risk of dying. A stark number. But here's the twist. That increase in risk only applied to those who also believed stress to be harmful. Those who experienced significant stress but didn't subscribe to the idea that it was detrimental to their health were no more likely to die. In fact, they had the lowest mortality rate of anyone in the study. Lower than those who lived relatively stress-free lives. Let that sink in for a moment. The researchers estimate that, over those 8 years, a staggering 182,000 Americans died prematurely, not from stress, but from the belief that stress is bad for you. Over 20,000 deaths each year. If that estimate holds true, believing stress is harmful is the 15th leading cause of death in the United States, surpassing skin cancer, HIV/AIDS, and even homicide. It felt like a seismic shift. Years spent warning people about the dangers of stress, potentially causing more harm than the stress itself. It forced me to ask a crucial question: could changing how we think about stress actually make us healthier? And the science thankfully says yes. Absolutely, unequivocally yes. When you fundamentally shift your perspective on stress, you rewrite your body's response. Let's do an experiment. A little thought experiment to illustrate just how this works. Imagine you're a participant in a study designed to push you to your limits. It's called the social stress test. You walk into a stark laboratory, and you're informed you have 5 minutes to deliver an impromptu speech outlining your deepest personal weaknesses. To a panel of expert evaluators staring intently at you. And to amplify the pressure, blinding lights and a camera are focused on your face. It's an intentionally uncomfortable situation. The evaluators. They've been specifically trained to offer discouraging, nonverbal cues. A raised eyebrow, a dismissive glance is subtle but powerful. Imagine feeling the heat rise in your cheeks, the tremor in your voice. But we're not finished yet. Part 2, a demanding math test. And the experimenter, trained to the same level of subtle harassment, will be there to ensure you feel the full force of the pressure. Ready? Let's begin. Count backwards from 996, subtracting 7 with each number. Out loud. As quickly as you can. 996, go. Faster. Faster, please. You're too slow. Stop, stop, stop. You made a mistake. We have to start over. Are you even trying? Feel the tension building. The sweat prickling on your skin. Your heart undoubtedly pounding in your chest. Normally, we interpret these physical sensations as signs of anxiety, evidence that we're failing under pressure. But what if you interpreted them differently? What if you saw them not as a sign of weakness, but as a sign of strength? A sign that your body is gearing up, preparing you for action. That's exactly what researchers at Harvard University did. Before subjecting participants to the social stress test, they taught them to reframe their stress response as helpful. They explained, your pounding heart isn't a sign of anxiety. It's your body preparing you for this challenge. Your accelerated breathing. It's delivering more oxygen to your brain. The results were remarkable. Participants who learned to view their stress response as helpful experienced less stress, less anxiety, and a surge of confidence. But the most astonishing finding wasn't psychological. It was physiological. In a typical stress response, your heart rate increases and your blood vessels constrict. This constriction, prolonged over time, is linked to cardiovascular disease. It's not a healthy state to maintain. However, in the Harvard study, when participants viewed their stress response as helpful, their blood vessels remained relaxed. Their heart still pounded, but the cardiovascular profile was dramatically different. It mirrored the physiological state experienced during moments of joy and courage. Over a lifetime of stressful experiences, this single biological shift could be the difference between a stress-induced heart attack at 50 and a vibrant life well into your 90s. This is the new science of stress. It's not about eliminating stress. It's about changing your relationship with it. My goal as a health psychologist has evolved. I no longer want to rid you of stress. I want to empower you to become better at stress. And in a way, we've already begun that process. If you raised your hand earlier, acknowledging a year filled with stress, we may have already extended your life. Because hopefully, the next time your heart races from stress, you'll remember this conversation. You'll whisper to yourself, "This is my body helping me rise to this challenge." And when you believe that, your body will believe you. Your stress response will become healthier, more resilient. I have a decade of old beliefs to dismantle, so let's go even deeper. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked aspects of the stress response. Stress makes you social. To understand this powerful connection, we need to explore a hormone called oxytocin. You've likely heard of oxytocin. It's been romanticized, nicknamed the cuddle hormone because it's released during hugs. But that's just a small piece of the puzzle. Oxytocin is a neurohormone. It's a master regulator of your brain's social instincts, fine-tuning your capacity for connection. It compels you to seek out and strengthen close relationships. It ignites a craving for physical touch with loved ones. It enhances your empathy, making you more attuned to the emotions of others. It even increases your willingness to offer help and support. Some have even suggested snorting oxytocin to become more compassionate. But here's the surprise. Oxytocin isn't just a hormone of love and connection. It's a stress hormone. Your pituitary gland releases it as a core component of the stress response. It's as fundamental to feeling stressed as adrenaline is. And when oxytocin is released during stress, it's not telling you to isolate yourself. It's motivating you to seek support. Your biological stress response is whispering, "Tell someone how you feel." It's prompting you to notice when those around you are struggling, so you can offer a helping hand. When life throws you a curveball, your stress response wants you surrounded by people who care. Understanding this changes everything. Oxytocin doesn't just act on your brain. It works its magic on your body too. One of its primary functions is to protect your cardiovascular system from the damaging effects of stress. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It keeps your blood vessels relaxed, even under pressure. But my favorite effect is on the heart itself. Your heart has receptors for oxytocin, and this hormone helps heart cells regenerate and heal from stress-induced damage. This stress hormone strengthens your heart. And the incredible part, all these physical benefits are amplified through social connection and support. When you reach out to others for help or offer help to someone else, you release more oxytocin. Your stress response becomes healthier and you recover faster. It's astonishing to realize that your stress response has a built-in mechanism for resilience, and that mechanism is human connection. I want to finish with one final study. And listen closely, because this one could be life-altering. This study followed approximately 1,000 adults in the United States, ranging in age from 34 to 93. Researchers meticulously documented the stressful life events each participant experienced in the previous year: financial difficulties, family crises, health scares. They then tracked their mortality rates for the next 5 years. The bad news: for every major stressful life event, the risk of dying increased by 30%. A significant jump. But, and this is crucial, that increase didn't apply to everyone. People who dedicated their time to caring for others, friends, neighbors, members of their community, showed absolutely no stress-related increase in mortality risk. 0. Caring created resilience. Once again, we see that the harmful effects of stress are not inevitable. Your thoughts and actions have the power to transform your experience of stress. When you choose to view your stress response as helpful, you unlock the biology of courage. When you choose to connect with others during times of stress, you cultivate resilience. I wouldn't necessarily advocate seeking out more stressful experiences. But this science has given me a profound new appreciation for the role stress plays in our lives. Stress connects us to our hearts, to the compassionate heart that finds joy and meaning in connecting with others, and to your powerful physical heart, working tirelessly to give you strength and energy. When you embrace this perspective, you're not just becoming better at handling stress. You're making a powerful statement about your faith in yourself. You're acknowledging your ability to navigate life's challenges. And you're remembering with unwavering certainty that you don't have to face them alone. Thank you